Perfect. Okay, we're recording now. So we're going to talk about Amazon Seller's Guide to Copyrights. So what we'll start off doing, like we did in the previous videos about trademarks and patents, is talk about the four branches of IP. Then we'll get into what is a copyright, what does it protect, what's eligible, and then talk about the benefits of copyrights for Amazon sellers, and then super important topic, DMCA counter notices on Amazon.com. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A session. So 4 branches of IP: trademarks, copyrights, patents, and trade secrets. One way that I always explain it to clients is trademarks, think of brand names, think of logos, think of slogans, right? Copyrights, think of artistic work. Artistic work meaning movies, books, photos, any sort of artwork, choreography, even architecture can be protected by copyright. So think of artwork. Patents, think of inventions. And then trade secrets, this is something that wouldn't be registered anywhere, but it would be a trade secret or a secret within your organization or your company. Think of it as for example, the Coca-Cola formula. I think that's the best example. Coca-Cola formula isn't protected by trademark, copyright, or patent, but it's a trade secret that they keep. All right, so what is a copyright? A copyright protects an original work of authorship that has been fixed in a tangible medium of expression. And we'll go over exactly what that means and break down some of those elements in there. One super important thing is copyrights protect only the expression of an idea and not the idea itself. So if I have an idea for a pen that writes upside down, right, that wouldn't be protected. Or if I have an idea about a movie idea about an IP attorney who's an attorney during the day and at night he's some sort of superhero, the idea itself I can't protect, but if I were to write a script, the script I could protect, or if I were to make a movie about that, that I can protect. But the law doesn't want to prohibit or somehow restrict someone like Steven Spielberg to also come in and create a movie about an IP law firm or an IP attorney who is an attorney during the day and at night is a crime fighting superhero. Okay, so again, idea itself isn't protected, it's your expression of the idea. And then generally speaking, copyrights expire 70 years after the author's death. Okay. All right, so what can a copyright protect? So as we said, any artwork, right? So pictures, sculptures, graphics, books, photos, choreography, and all that. So some of the things I highlighted that I think would be most relevant to Amazon sellers would be like photos, your product photography, product packaging, that can be protected. Your ebooks, if you create any ebooks that accompany your product, that can also be protected by copyright. If you have any blog articles on your own website, that can be protected. If you have some sort of computer program that you created, that can be protected. And as far as for sound, we had a client who had a doll, and this doll would say things, right, or sing. So that voice itself, that sound recording, that can be protected. So all of this can be protected by a copyright. Requirements for copyright protection. We sort of addressed this before, but I want to go over this in a little bit more detail. So copyright eligible subject matter entitled to copyright protection if it is original and fixed in a tangible medium of expression. What does that mean? Originality, it has to be original. You can't copy someone else. I can't get a picture of Mickey Mouse and draw the same thing and say, here's my original work, right? But that bar of originality is so low. And I'll give you an example of how low that originality or creative threshold is. With maps, not much has changed with maps. So what companies will do, or what artists will do, the artists that are creating these maps, is they'll create a fake town inside the map, and that's enough originality or creativity to meet this threshold. For example, if I were to create a map of the United States, maybe in the LA County area, I might put a fake town in there and call it Marioville, right? And that would be enough. So that's all you need for the originality element. As far as a fixation, this is something that has to be fixed in a medium, meaning if you put it in a book or an ebook, that's considered fixed. Now, what wouldn't be considered fixed is if I have a song and it's playing on the radio, right? So there's radio waves, but it's not fixed. So the radio waves, the broadcast of the song wouldn't be protected and couldn't be registered. However, if I have that song on a tape recorded, or even on a hard drive, or on a CD, or some sort of machine or device, then that would be considered a fixation. Okay, so that's really all you need: originality and fixation. Works made for hire. This is super important when it comes to Amazon sellers. Amazon sellers will sometimes hire product photographers, or sometimes hire people to write ebooks for them, or even their not Facebook, sorry, but Amazon listing titles, their bullet points, their product description. All of that is owned by the person, the author, the creator of the work. Okay. However, if there is an employee-employer relationship, then it's automatically assumed or presumed that this work is being done for the benefit of the employer. Okay, so this is an employee-employer relationship. However, if you're working with an independent contractor, which most Amazon sellers are for product photography and for copywriting, when I say copywriting, it's COPYWRITING. So meaning coming up with a language for their product listing, then that would be an independent contractor relationship. So what I would definitely recommend is a work made for hire agreement. That's something that we could help with, or any attorney can help with, but you definitely want to have that. That would be required if you go ahead and try to register that work with the copyright office, or later down the road, if you're looking to sell your business, the buyer would ask for that agreement, just to make sure that the company itself or you have that right and are able to transfer it during the sale. So super important, make sure you guys have work made for hire agreements. Benefits of registering a copyright. So a registered copyright is required if you're going to file a lawsuit in federal court. Okay, that's a must-have. Now, does that mean you need to do a copyright now? Maybe not, but you need to have it in order for you to file a lawsuit in federal court. Validity. A registered copyright sort of is evidence that, number one, your copyright is valid, but also that you own it. So that's validity. Statutory damages, attorney fees. So to be eligible to have statutory or be awarded statutory damages and attorney fees in a copyright infringement case, the copyright must be registered. What does this mean? One of the issues in IP is whenever you sue someone for infringement, the main question is, okay, how much are the damages? How much damage did they cause you? If you don't have a copyright registered, then you need to bring in experts, which costs a lot of money to determine how much exactly were the damages. However, if you have the copyright registered, then there's automatically minimum statutory damages that are awarded, okay? And then also you would be able to collect, if you prevail in the lawsuit, you are eligible to collect attorney fees. Doesn't mean you'll be granted, but you could definitely be eligible for it. And then lastly, it puts the public on notice that you are the owner of this copyright, okay? And towards the end, I could share an example of a copyright registration and what it looks like, because we did one for one of our blog posts, or I should say articles. Okay, so that's the benefits. Amazon.com and DMCA. DMCA stands for Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So this is one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of copyrights in the Amazon space. I think it's a great asset to have. I think it's a great piece of IP. But when it comes to Amazon, I don't know if it has much teeth. I don't know if it has much of a bite. So if I owned a copyright for whatever it may be, and I see that you're infringing on my copyright, I could go to Amazon.com and file the IP complaint. Now, if you're a savvy Amazon seller and you realize that, you know what, you really, or you are not infringing on my copyright, then you could file a DMCA counter notice, and I'll go into what that is in just a second. So that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is you may be dealing with someone who has no morals, who is unethical, and if you file against them, they can very easily file DMCA counter notices against you, even though your case, your claims are 100% truthful and have merit, and they truly are infringing on your copyright. Now, the DMCA counter notice says that once Amazon receives this DMCA counter notice from this bad actor, from this infringer, then they will notify you that you have 10 days to file a lawsuit. Otherwise, they're going to go ahead and reinstate the ASIN. Okay, that's why I'm not a big fan of it. Now, in the counter notice, they would have to make these statements, right? So they would have to declare under penalty of perjury that they have a good faith belief that the material at issue was either misidentified or mistakenly removed. If you're dealing with bad actors on Amazon, they've got no problem signing this, especially if they're going to be providing bogus names, addresses, and telephone numbers. They also have to consent to the jurisdiction of a district court, federal district court within their judicial district, which again, what we've seen is bad actors, they really don't mind lying and forging these documents, these DMCA counter notices, just to get their ASINs reinstated. And it puts the copyright holder in a bit of a tough situation, because now they either have to sue within 10 days, right? Or that ASIN is going to be reinstated. I've got a link here at the bottom for the Amazon policy that addresses the DMCA counter notices. I know you can't have it on video, but we'll provide it underneath the video, the link, and maybe even provide this presentation for you guys to download. This is the main reason why I'm not a big fan of copyright, or at least enforcement of copyrights on Amazon. All right, any questions? Before we get to everyone else's question, we did have a few people email their questions. How can I search for someone? Oh, how can I search if someone owns a copyright? So the entire idea of a copyright is that this is your original artwork, right? This is your original piece of art. So while with trademarks, it's pretty simple. It's public information for you to search. It's available online. Unfortunately, with the copyright, it's not available online. So you would need to know who the author is, and then hire someone to go to the Copyright Office or Library of Congress to pull that copyright application, or you would have to go there yourself. There are services out there that can do it, but it's not very simple. It's not available online. It's not available for just anyone to easily pull it. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. Library of Congress or Copyright Office, that's in Washington, D.C. Let me just show. There we go. Hopefully everyone can see this, but this is a certificate of registration for copyright. This is what you get when you register a copyright. And copyrights take about 4 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months. It's pretty quick because they're not doing much checking. You're claiming that this is your original artwork. or original work. So all they do is just process it and get a certificate out. What we protected here was a blog article that we did for our website called "Do I Need a Trademark? Everything You Should Know About Trademarks." And year of completion, 2019. Date of first publication, the day that we first made it public on our website or posted it on our website was November 16, 2019. Who's the author? It's a text, work made for hire. Yes, because I didn't do it. ESCO didn't do it. It was an employee of ESCO, right? Citizen of the US, and then just has our address. And then on the back just has this. Okay, but this is what it looks like. Let me see if there's any other questions. Okay. Next question is asking if they have a unique idea about a product, can they protect it with a copyright? Again, as we mentioned before, copyrights don't protect ideas; they would just protect the expression of the idea. Go back to the story about the crime-fighting IP attorney, right? So what I write as a script or the movie that I direct, that I produce, that can be protected. But the idea of prohibiting anyone else from creating a movie about an IP attorney who fights crime at night, that idea can't be protected. Okay. That's all the questions that I see here. I don't see anyone's hand raised, so that means one thing, I did a great job with this presentation and answered all of your questions. But if you do have any questions about copyrights, trademarks, patents, or anything Amazon related, you could send an email to intake@esco.com or call us at that phone number, 424-363-6233, and we'll be more than happy to help. Or you could go subscribe to our newsletter. We send out a newsletter that's related to Amazon sellers /IP or IP for Amazon sellers every Tuesday. So you guys could subscribe to that by going to our website, esqgo.com. Okay. Thank you, everyone.